Hi loves, how's it going? My name is Elisha, and I just thought I'd make some videos to move you. Today, I actually don't know what we're gonna do yet. I'm just gonna move and speak as I go. But you can expect to get into your sides, maybe some twists. I'm inspired by bowspring and yoga and Budokan and mobility and functional movement patterns and styles. So you can expect me to create as I go with a general informed ideology that keeps the spine in its natural alignment and works with the body with the hope or the goal or the intention is the word I'm looking for, with the intention to hold or create a uniform tone, uniform myofascial tone. So we're working with tensegrity and the fascia of the body to create a dynamic and springy and light form in the body. Yeah. That's all. Let's just move. We'll start in a tall seat. So have a block or two handy. It's nice. They come in handy sometimes just to help assist you in certain places. But first, they help you to sit in a better way. So you can take the block on a low or a high or whatever kind of way feels the best for you. And take your hands to your bum so that you lift your cheeks up from underneath of you and you sit a little higher on your sits bones. The top of the feet can just gently press down, just a subtle pressing down and energetic pulling back towards the knee or towards the ankle. And gently hug the heels inwards. You can rest your hands to the top of your thighs, or you can create like a little spider shape with your fingers, light, soft fingers. And here, this is kind of a dome hand, and we push the elbows forward and wide. With this hand variation, we create a little bit more space for our ribs to stay broad. And begin to connect into your breath. Big full inhales and deep exhales. And connecting a loop of breath inhale to exhale. Continuous, expanding on the inhale, rising, and deflating and grounding in the exhale. So working with this subtle movement, this wave. Lifting the chin just a little bit more than feels comfortable, and feeling an energetic rise, beginning from the pelvic floor all the way up through to the crown of the head and beyond. So we're looking for this lifting energy. Just watching the breath, noticing the quality of each inhale and each exhale, and letting them be soft and natural. Nothing forced, no noises, just easy and effortless. Themes of this time feel like releasing, letting go, surrendering, and trusting. And so putting these words in your heart and allowing them to guide you through this practice and through your life right now. Allowing the breath to teach you the let go, be soft, just full surrender. The inhale teaching us, that hope, that trust, that life will go on. A couple more breaths here, just checking into your body, into your mind, into your heart. finding yourself into all fours. Placing the block to the side. We got a little block party here. So moving into all fours, hands and knees. And the hands can be as wide as your mat or as wide as your shoulders, whatever makes more sense. And the knees can stack underneath of your hips. For me, I like to drag my hips back so that I lengthen my belly and take my shoulders back as well. So when I move my hips back, my shoulders and my heart move back. And I like to have this slant in my arm so that my wrists are ahead of my shoulder. From this space, pressing the ground away and feeling the broadening through the shoulder blades. The top of the feet can press down and drag back. And this energy can help you to keep your hips rooting back and your belly long. You find a little tug-of-war here with the hips energetically moving back and the heart wanting to pull forward. The chin is lifted, the throat is open, and just finding some gentle movement back and forth here. Just working to connect yourself with the alignment of your spine. Finding the fullness through the thoracic area, expanded quality of that kyphotic curve. And just honoring the gentle dips in the cervical and the lumbar spines, gently moving inward just a little bit. The glutes rising upwards, the knees can press down, forward and out to the side, just connecting into a subtle engagement here. And then when you've felt complete with this kind of working into that awareness of the back, you can begin to glide into the sides. So shifting the ribs side to side. When the left side of your ribs go towards the left, you can drop right ear to right shoulder. It's coming back and forth. The chin stays lifted and the throat stays open. Keep pressing the mat away, just gently. The hips root back, widening behind. And then we'll pulse into the left side. So just taking a gentle expansion, right ear to right shoulder, keep pressing the mat away. Just gently creeping into that left side line. And then on you pulse upwards, allow your chin to drop down along your chest. Press the mat away, really round through the back of your heart. And then sit the hips back to begin to pulse on the right side, left ear to left shoulder. They're just little creeping into the sidelines, and playing with the polarities of expanding and opening, and then contracting and closing. And then when you press into the right side, allow your chin to drop, rolling along your chest. Press the mat away and fill through the back of your heart. All the way over to the other side. We'll do that one more time on each side, pulsing into the left, right ear to right shoulder. Keep pushing the mat away. And then drop your chin along your chest, press the mat away, inflate through the back, feel the shoulder blades broad, all the way to the other side. And pulsing last time on the right side. And then just going back and forth a couple more times, finding a fluid, soft flow, warming up the belly, warming up the sides. And then finding some stillness here in the center. And strong push of the mat away. Find that fullness through the shoulder blades. We want to really expand all sides of the rib cage, feeling them widen. And then we'll tuck the toes, lift up the knees, and rise to all fours, hands and feet. So taking a wider stance with the feet, connecting in through the paw of the foot. Gentle bend into the knees. Well, maybe even more than a gentle bend, so you can get springy here. And then even with this bend, we can still send the hips back wide, up and high into the sky, honoring the back line of our leg. The hips widening and rising behind us. The paws of the feet can press down and out to the side. You'll notice this connects you into the glutes. And the belly stays long. And the wrists, again, are ahead of the shoulders, so that we hold that slant in the arm. This just takes a little bit of the pressure out of the wrist and puts the weight and the work into the hips and the butt and the legs. And keep pushing the mat away to stay full through the back of the rib cage. And then just pulsing forward and back, connecting to your subtleties. So maintaining the pushing of the ground away with the hands. And the hips rooting, widening behind, up high into the sky. And the paws pushing down and out to the side connects you into your glutes. A little springing forward and back. And then this time we'll just start to dance with our butt. So finding a serpentine movement. It lives in the hips, it lives in the belly, all the way up into the ribs. Allowing this to be soft and free. And then find some stillness. Root the hips back. Keep pressing the mat away. Just a slight external rotation of the right hand. Twist toes and knees to the left. Bend into the knees, drop the hips towards the heels, and then find a big rise up into your left side. Hips root back. Soften the belly open towards the left. Keep the chin lifted and the throat open. Crown of the head reaches forward as the hips root back and wide. Keep bending and extending to pulse more length and extension into your left side. You can take a big stretch. Left arm reaches forward and long. One more pulse. And drop your right hip down. Keep the hips rooting towards the right side to land the hips behind the heart. Seated side twist. We're just on our side butt, side hip here. And we can start like this, just finding some gentle movement. Keep pressing the mat away so you find a lift underneath this right armpit. Searching for like a hollow in your armpit. And the left dome can just stay forward, so we hold the broad spaciousness for the ribs and for the thoracic spine. The chin can stay lifted and the throat stays open. And just keep rising into your left side line, into these left ribs, the space underneath your left armpit. And as you rise into the ribs, you can drop your left ear gently towards the shoulder. You'll feel that it makes sense just a little bit. Take the left foot and place it in front of the right thigh. Resist your knee energetically away from you. If you want, you can give yourself a little help here. Option to come down onto the right forearm angling to the top left-hand corner of the mat. You can just play here and keep pressing the forearm down, holding that hollow in your armpit, that lightness underneath the right ribs. The chin can stay lifted and the throat can stay open. If you want a little extra, you can take your hand to the inside of your knee or the outside, just being gently and resisting into the pressure that you create, whatever makes sense. Unlink your foot and place it back where it came from. Take your left hand back to the mat so that you can lift your right hand back up and then twist back, hands and feet. Setting up your stance again, wide hands, wide feet. Nice bend into the knees, paws connected. Hips rooting back wide, high into the sky. And paws push down and out to the side. And the belly is long, the wrists ahead of the shoulders, and we press the mat away nice and strong. You can knee knock to the center, dropping a knee towards the middle. And then switching. Side to side. It's almost like a little washing machine for your belly. And come back through center. Slight external rotation of the left hand. Twist toes and knees to the right. And drop your hips towards your heel, find a big extension, lift up into the right side line. Pulsing through the legs, bending and extending, hips root back and wide. Soften the belly long and open towards the right side. Keep rising under the space underneath your right armpit. Hips back, soft belly, lift up. Option to take a big stretch with your right arm, reach forward and long. Chin is lifted, throat is open. And toes connected, hips rooting, belly lengthening. One more pulse. And then coming back, we'll just bend the knees to lower the left hip down to the mat. The hips land behind the heart, so we keep the hips pulling towards the left side. Right fingertips out to the right side. You can just kind of find some organic movement here. Keep pressing the mat away so you hold a lightness underneath your left ribs and armpit. You can just pulse here, curling in or making little movements, get experimental. We can take this what is your right foot and place it in front of the left thigh. And then resist energetically the knee away from you. If you want a little assist with your hand, you're welcome to go there. And take yourself down onto your left forearm if you did it on the other side. Press down with the forearm. The elbow lands ahead of the shoulder and just creates a spaciousness for the belly to stay long. And then pressing down to keep a lightness underneath the left rib cage. Dome out to the side. You can move in ways that feel good here. You can use your hands, like I said, resisting internally or externally, whatever makes sense. And then unlink your foot, place it back where it came from. Right hand plants to the right side of the mat so that you can lift up the left, place it back to the left side of the mat. Press the ground away to twist back up, hands and feet. Nice bend into the knees, root your hips back wide and high, up behind. A little shift of the hips side to side. Option to pedal the heels back and forth. Option to do a little dance with your butt. Option to take some hops, shorten the stance just a little bit. Press the mat away super strong. Keep your eyes looking ahead of your hands. Press the mat away. And then taking big hops. Knees at a 90 degree. Hopping with an open belly. The more you push the ground away, the more you're going to spring up. Next time you land forward, and if you weren't hopping, step or hop forward. Take a deep seat, root the hips back wide behind you, and then rise up with an open belly. And take a pause, connect the toes, gentle bend into the knees, hips slightly behind the heart, lifted chin, open throat. You can take a little sway here, just connecting back into your breath. Okay, connect into your toes. Really find your roots through the paws, through the feet. I like my feet a little wider than my hips as well, almost as wide as the mat. The knees bend forward and the hips gently glide back. Press your arms forward. Really fill into the back of the heart, pressing so much forward that you create a little pocket. It's like a hollowing action in the armpit. The chin is lifted and the throat is open. And we'll begin to lift our arms up a little higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. You can just sort of start to move with this. It's almost like a serpentine motion that begins, and keeping the toes connected, reaching higher and higher. It's like you're trying to pluck what are those things? Stars out of the sky. A little higher, a little higher, a little higher. And keep the gentle bend into the knees, the hips back, and soft open belly. And then find some stillness with your arms high up into the sky, and take your right hand, clasp onto your left wrist. Bend the knees forward, root the hips back. Keep the elbows just pushing forward of the heart just a little bit. Sit deep and then rise up, arc over towards the left side. The right side, sorry. Hips back, soften the belly forward, and then just gently giving yourself a little tension, the right hand pulling against the left wrist, so that you can further extend into your left sideline. Making little springs to open the elasticity in the side. And then take your heart and dip it down towards the ground. You can take your arms and lower them towards your right knee. Fill through the back. And then root the hips back, soften the belly forward and peel it back open. Rise up. One more pulse. And then release into a sway. Glide your ribs side to side. And soft arms, soft belly. Moving with the ribs. And come back through center and just take a pause. Lift the chin and open the throat. And connect your toes and then connect back into your breath. Reach your arms forward. Feel your shoulder blades broaden behind you. Inflate the rib cage all sides. And then begin to rise your arms up and up and up. Shifting the ribs side to side each time you reach a little higher and higher. And then you're plucking the stars out of the sky one more time. And you're reaching so high. Toes stay connected. A little bend in the knees. The chin is lifted, the throat is open. And then find some stillness. Keep the arms in the air. And this time the left hand is going to catch your right wrist. Bend into the knees move forward and the hips move back. Keep the arms just a little bit ahead of the heart. And then finding a spring, sit deep, rise up and arc over towards the left side. You can give your wrist a gentle guidance, a gentle pull over towards the left. The chin stays lifted and the throat stays open, just extending into that right sideline. Knees forward, hips back, big, rising up, arcing over. And then take your heart and face it towards the ground and begin to lower your arms down towards your left leg or towards the ground. Fill through the back of the heart. And then root the hips back by sitting deep into your seat. Soften the belly forward and rise back up, peeling open. One more pulse into the side. Big stretch, rise up, arc over. And then release into a sway. And glide your ribs side to side. Find some stillness. Connect your domes. Lift your heart, lift your chin, and just pause for a second and feel. And bring yourself back into your breath, creating that loop. It's moving. It's your life force. And smile, lifting the corners of your mouth. And what a beautiful life. And then reach your arms forward, wide, like you're going to give somebody a big hug. And sit deep into your seat. Arc over towards the right side. Hover your left heel. Dig your paw forward. This sends your hips back. Drag the paw back to engage the back line of the leg. Pick up the foot. Hug the knee inwards towards your belly. Root the hips further back. Sit deep to step with sensitivity. Left foot lands down to the side of the mat. Same thing on the other side. Press your arms forward. Hold the lightness in the ribs, a fullness and expansion all sides. Big bend into the knees. Arc over wide towards the left side. Hover the right heel. Dig. Sends the hips back. Drag. Engages the back line of the leg. Pick up your foot. Hug the knee in. Sit deep. Root back. Step wide. Right paw lands to the side of the mat. Take a big seaweed sway and wash it out. Horseshoe hold to the tops of the thighs. Root the hips back wide. Belly stays nice and long and the heart full. All sides of the ribcage expanding. Lift up the chin. Let's hover the heels just a little bit and just pivot the heels inwards so that you can glide your legs side to side. If you need a little bit of a wider stance, you can take. If you have more space and no problems in the knees, you can reach your arms forward. And then when this is the case, we're going to come down into a deep squat with the extended leg. We hold the bend into the knee. The heel digs down and drags back. And come back through center and switch sides. Nice big bend into this knee so we're not locking up the joint. Heels digging down and dragging back. We're keeping the chin lifted and the throat open. We're holding the tensegrity in the back line of our leg. The belly's long. The heart is full. If you stayed up, we'll glide over towards the left side. So the left knee bends and the right leg extends. And take your your left hand to the inside edge of your left thigh. And then take a big stretch. Right arm reaches long up and over towards the left. Little pulses here, reaching up like you're trying to catch a star over there now. If you came all the way down and you're sitting down here, we're going to do the same kind of thing. We'll take a light fingertips to the ground, or you can make a fist, and then big reach. Right arm reaches long to the left side. So same, but a little different. And take one more full inhale. Exhale, coming back up through center. And take a pause and recover. Connecting back into your breath. Chin is lifted, throat is open. Same variations on the other side. You can take a slight bend into your right knee, an extension into the left leg. First option, right hand connects to the inside edge of your right thigh. Left arm, big stretch forward of the heart, long to the right side. So we're big extending into the left line. Little pulses here. If you had more space, no knee stuff, you can glide all the way down into this deep squat with an extended leg. Taking that light fingertips or fist into the inside edge of your knee or thigh, and big stretch. Reaching long towards the right side. And breathing wherever you are. Left heel digging down and dragging back. Rising left ribs, chin is lifted, throat is open. One more full inhale. And coming back up through center. A little pause, root hips back, belly's long, breathe. You can glide your ribs side to side if you want to move. Okay, let's take some hops here. So take a deep squat, root the hips way back. Check it out. The hands are going to plant strong, nice big bend into the knees. We keep the feet as close in as we can get. The further the hands are ahead of the feet, the more distance your hips have to go to get ahead on top of you. Maybe you're not trying to handstand, but wherever you are, whether you're just hopping little hops, super important to press the ground away super strong. Eyes stay ahead of the hands and take the legs with you. And so what I mean by that is keep the knees bent at a 90 degree when they lift off of the ground, instead of lengthening them. Keep them lifted at a 90 degree. Yeah, so taking a couple of hops, whether they look like big, little, somewhere in between. And then landing down, wide stance, hips root back, lift up with an open belly. Horseshoe hold to the tops of the thighs, take a pause, big breath. Okay, reach your arms forward. Well, the chin stays lifted and the throat stays open. A big bend into the knees, knees forward, hips gently back. Begin to, hover your right heel and then begin to pivot your toes towards the left side of the mat or the middle of the mat so that the right knee begins to narrow inwards. And then sit deep into your seat and then root the hips further back. And keep doing that, big bending and then rooting and bending and then rooting and then all the way till the right knee meets the mat. Untuck your right toes, press the top of the foot down into the mat, and then gentle drag back. Sit deep, you might want to block here. Hands out to the left side, to the block, or not. We want to take care of our back so that we maintain the alignment as best we can in most places through the practice. So the belly stays long, and the lower lumbar moves in just a little bit. The thoracic, the mid-spine stays open and full, broad and expanded. And the chin stays lifted and the throat stays open. So a couple pulses here, whether you have a block or not. And then I offer that you take your left foot on an angle so that the knee moves out towards the left side. And then be gentle here, just nice little pulses into your IT. Moving the hips back and just feeling the tone. You'll feel it pretty big. This is like my favorite thing. Okay, place the foot back down and the knee forward. We'll take the right hand to the left ankle, or shin, or knee, or thigh, whatever feels the best along this line. So maybe it's more deep to go low, you might want a little higher. Whatever along this line feels good for you. You're gonna catch right hand to the left, and then big stretch, left arm reaches long towards the right. Gentle pulsing, rising into the left ribs, the left arm just ahead of the heart. The chin stays lifted and the throat stays open. And then rise all the way up. Reach your arms forward. This is another place where you might want to have a block. And you can place the block to the side, on high, or whatever degree you like. So with the block, we'll sit deep, we'll arc over towards the left to take the left hand to the block. And big rise up into the right side. If you have more space, you can take your left hand to your right heel, root back and rise up. And then come back through center. And same thing, if you can't reach back to your right hand to your right heel, just reach to a block, rise up and arc over. Or else, taking the right hand to your right heel, sitting deep, rooting the hips back, softening the belly forward, and then rising up into the left side. You can move back and forth a couple times. And then next time, we'll take the hands forward of your left foot. Okay, things get a little cool here. So plant the hands strong. We're gonna leave the left foot weighted and pick up the right knee into the sky, right leg into the sky, so for an open leg. So hands plant, weight the left, pick up the right. Keep this bend into your left knee and root the hip back and wide into the sky. Keep your right knee hugging in towards the belly and push the ground away super strong. One more full inhale. And then take some hops side to side. So pressing the ground away, keeping the eyes looking forward, and then hopping. They might be just little hops like this. They might get a little bigger. You might start painting rainbows in the sky with your bum. Next time you land on your left foot, stay. With control, big bend into the left knee, step wide across to the side of your mat, deep squat, rise up. And take a pause. Little shoulder dips, interlude. A little twisting of the ribs. Okay, coming back through center, we'll do the same thing on the other side. So hover the left heel just a little bit. Begin to pivot the paw towards the middle of the mat so that the left knee begins to narrow inwards. Bend into your knees, root the hips back. Reach your arms forward. I guess if you need a block here, this is good that it's here, you can help yourself down with a block. Otherwise, the arms are reaching forward and you bend and you root. And you bend and you root. And one more time, bend and root, and then lowering your left knee all the way down. Untuck your left toes. Press the top of the foot down into the ground and then drag it back just a little bit towards your knee. Block can be over towards the right side or no block, depending on your flexibility and openness in your hip or groin. A little pulsing here, hips back, belly's long, heart is full, chin is lifted. Working to keep our central channel from the pelvic floor through to the crown of our head, long and open, spacious. We can take our right foot on an angle so that the knee moves outwards just a little bit. So we get into our IT, and you just pulse here, sitting into that stretch. This is where it gets juicy. And then replace your right foot back down, solid to the ground. Left hand is going to catch your right ankle or shin or knee or thigh or anywhere along this line that feels good for you, same as the other side. So left hand to right arm, big stretch high up into the sky, little pulses rising into the right ribs. Reaching up and arcing over. Hips rooting, belly's long. One more pulse. And then release, reach your arms forward. Here again, working blocks if you need the blocks. The first side we'll try to go to. Push the arms forward and then begin to arc over towards the right side. If you are happy with this block here, on your right, that's great. And big stretch up, rising into the left. You can sit deeper and catch your right hand to left heel for a deeper, bigger stretch into the left side. You'll feel it. Sometimes, most of the time, less is more. And then we'll cruise over to the other side. Again, block is here if you can't catch your heel. Lifting up and arcing over. Keep the hips gently pulling back just a little bit. And we'll come back a couple times. Making a little flow. Tapping and going, reaching up and rising into the ribs. Keep the belly long. Keep your chin lifted and your throat open. And then come back through center. Hands are going to plant forward of your right foot. We're going to keep the right foot planted down to the ground, open leg left to the side. So hands strong, weighted right foot, left leg lifts high into the sky. Right knee, hold a nice bend into the knee, and then root your femur back and wide into the hip socket. Press the ground away, eyes look forward of the hands. And then you can take some little hop side to side, and these might be just switching the feet, just like so. They might get a little higher, a little higher, a little higher. Keep pushing the ground away, super strong. It's like you begin to move with your hips side to side. The legs just along for the ride. Next time you land on your right foot, stay. Right foot to the right side of the mat. Take a deep squat, step wide to the left side. Deep seat, rise up. A little sway, wash it out. Move your blocks. Casualties. Bend deep into the knees, knees forward, hips root back. And take your hands down to the mat. Press the ground away, step back, hands and feet. Externally rotate your right hand, twist your toes and your knees to the left. Sit the hips towards the heels, rise into your left side. Option to reach your left arm forward and long. Option to take a light fist to the top of your head, the elbow hugs narrow, and resist more length into the belly and more length into the neck. Back through center. And pedal the heels. And shift the hips side to side. Externally rotate the left hand just a little bit. Toes and knees twist to the right. Sit your hips towards your heels. Rise into the right sideline. Like you're turning yourself into a human rainbow. Rising into your ribs will create a lightness in your right fingertips. The hips root back. Toes connected. Chin is lifted, throat is open. Option big reach. The stretch long. Option take a fist to the top of your head and resist more length into the neck and more length into the belly. Last pulse. Back through center. Narrow the knees, lower the knees. Untuck your toes, top of the feet, press down and gently drag back. And take some undulations of your spine. Rooted hips back, holding the length in the belly, rippling forward. Find some stillness. Widen the knees. Sit the hips back towards the heels and lie all the way down into your heart for a wide-kneed child's pose, allowing your heart to melt, your body to soften. And the arms can be forward as well. Press the mat away and rising back up. Take your toes and connect them behind you and press the tops of the feet down into the mat. Gentle drag back for that low hollow in the ankle. The hands can stay wide. And then root the hips back and press the mat down and press up into I want to call this like a weird upward dog. Except in this upward dog, we press the mat away to hold the fullness and the support and the integrity of our spine. So we're protecting our spine, pressing fullness into the back, and then pushing the solar plexus, the belly forward and up. The hands press down and can energetically drag back towards the knees. Little springing hips root, and then pressing into a big rise. You should feel a big stretch into the belly here. And if you feel this anywhere in your back, then just go back into that child's pose and chill. As we don't want any, like it's one thing to feel a muscle and just to feel a little work, but it's another thing to feel any pinching. So if you feel pinching, check out of this guy. Really important to hold the fullness in the whole rib cage, the back heart. And last one. And then walk your hands back. Take your right foot and just creep it forward through this way. And then sit back onto your bum. So you're in this like little doo-doo-doo-doo. And then you can just take your hands outside of your, to your bum, lift your cheeks up. And first we'll just twist left hand to the right knee, right hand back behind, lift the heart, lift the chin, twist here. And we'll come back through center, and then twist it the other way. If it feels good, I offer you a few moments here to just explore. You can come down onto the forearms forward. If you have more space, you can even take all the way down. Other things you can play with are coming back. You can try your forearms back. If you have space, go all the way down. If you go all the way down, you could also link your right leg, right ankle on top of the left. To come back up, one elbow, the other elbow, hand, lift up. Other things you can play with, you can take your right hand back behind you, lift the bum, big reach. You can play with that with the other side as well. Twisting. Yeah, lots of things to kind of experiment with. You never know where you can go until you try. Yeah. So we'll move on from there and keep this party going. We'll extend the left leg long. Again, catching your bum and just lifting the cheeks out from underneath of you. I really love to honor the joints, so not locking them out, none of that guy, and just keeping a little tensegrity in the leg. The heel can dig down and drag back, find a softening on the top of the foot. Do two light fingertips to the side of your leg. The belly is long. If you want to stay here, if this feels enough for you, that's great. If you have more depth that you want to explore, you can walk your belly down, so forearms or even all the way down. If you still want more, you can take a hand to your foot and give it a little gas pedal. This is just going to activate an engagement in the leg. Wherever you are, I'm just finding a couple soft moments. Rising back up. Walk the hands back. Re-bend into this leg to take it back. Take your hands forward to take your right foot back. Yeah, you can take a couple pulses here if you like those things. You can glide your ribs side to side if you like that. Then we're just going to go right over to the other side. So taking the heart forward, we're just going to move this left foot in front so that you can sit back onto your bum. The left foot is now in front of the right thigh. Catch your bum, pick up your cheeks, create more space. Yeah, and first we'll twist right hand to the left knee, left hand out to somewhere along this side line. Lift your heart, lift your chin, find a length and a lifting, rising energy. A little twist. The head can stay in line with the heart so that we're not really cranking. We're just sort of honoring the natural curves or the natural ability or rotation of our ribs. And then come back the other way. And then you can play with moving in this little zone here. So the first option I offered was to come forward. Just try it on, feel like what it feels like. You could have your forearms, or if it's too much, your hands at any degree. Or if you have way more space, you can go all the way down. If you want to play going back, you can go back, just walking back nice and gentle, and this might be where you stay. You may also play down to the forearms, or if you have the space, all the way down to the back. And if this feels okay, good for you, you can catch your left ankle to the outside edge of your right thigh. This is one of my favorite things. But it's not for everybody, so if it doesn't serve you, then don't come down. And just honoring your body, really just checking in with what feels good and safe and healthy. And then coming back up. We can first take the left hand to the left side, pick the bum up, big reach, right arm long. And take it to the other side. Cool. And then extend your right leg long. Actually, I guess I'll give you a couple more minutes. You can just hang in your... all the different options you can do. And now we'll extend the right leg long. And again, holding that little micro bend at least in the back of your knee. Dig your right heel down, drag back to hold the tensegrity. 2 light fingertips to the side of your leg. Hold the length in the belly, chin lifted. If you have more space, you can walk this down. Just noticing the different sides. My right side is much tighter than my left. I have less space in my right side, or less openness, I guess I'll speak to. And so just noticing that and honoring that. If it doesn't feel good to go all the way down like it did on the other side, then stay higher or go lower, or be with what feels good. I'm taking a couple of soft moments here. And then coming all the way back up. Cross your leg ahead of you. Take your hands forward. Send your feet back. Tuck the toes, lift up, hands and feet. You can just knock the knees to the center. Externally rotate right hand, twist toes and knees to the left. A couple of last pulses here. Left hand on an external rotation, twist right away to the right side. Hips root, rise ribs, last pulses here. And then drop your left hip down. Reach your left arm long to the top right hand corner of the mat, lie onto your side so that you may shift to your back. Hips, heart, and head help you to the center of the mat. You can catch your knees, cupping them. Allow the knees to pull heavy and find a release here. And let go. Let the feet be soft. Let the legs be soft. Root down, femurs into the hip sockets. Lift the chin. You can just rock side to side here. And then find some stillness. Plant your feet underneath of behind the sits bones. Chin up by your hands. Little domes or light fingertips above the head. Elbows up towards the sky. And just taking slow knees side to side. Like a windshield wiper. Each time the knees go to one side, you can root the hips down and allow the belly to soften. And the next time the knees fall towards the left, we'll hold them there. You can just take this gentle twist. You can reach your arms out to the side if you prefer that. You can also take your left foot or heel or ankle, whatever, to the outside edge of your right knee. Unlink the ankle, come back up through center and take the knees over towards the right. You can keep this soft just like this. You may also take your right ankle above the left thigh. Arms can be wide, chin up, bar, whatever feels good. Unlink your leg or your ankle and come back up through center. Extend both legs long. And take your hands to your bum, spread your cheeks. Give yourself a big bear hug to broaden the shoulders, widening, expanding all sides, and then arms can out to the side, palms up or down. You can decide giving or receiving or grounding. And press the back of the head into the mat to lift up the chin. Allow the throat to be open, your breath to be in focus, in connection, like a wave. And bring a soft, natural quality to letting go, to full surrender. And the more we can let go and trust, the lighter our life will be. Allowing for flow, allowing for change with grace and ease. And then you can stay here for a while, please do. Allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to just be held, the ground. And taking the time you need. Allowing yourself to connect in with your breath and make that a meditation, a watching and awareness. Inhale, exhale, like a wave in and out, giving and receiving. Letting go and trusting. Stay for a while. I hope you have a beautiful day and surround yourself with love and good vibrations and hold that in your heart. Love, love. Thank you for being here.